If you want to be able to determine direction without a compass in temperate regions, stay tuned. The best navigation aid you have, especially in close country, is a compass. If you do not have a compass, then let nature help you find the right direction. Using a few skills and nature, it's easy enough to find north-ish, and then use it to find out the other directions until you get near to your objective, and then you can hone down your map reading skills to get to the exact place you want to be. Often, knowing the general direction is good enough to get you to a handrail. And once you've got a handrail, such as a river or a road, you can find your exact required location. Most travelling will be done in daylight, so you can use the sun to help you find direction. The first thing to remember is the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. But remember, this is not due east and this is not due west. The sun rises and sets in different places at different times of the year. In the winter, the sun rises nearer the equator, and in the summer, it rises further away from the equator. So the sun may rise in the northeastish and set in the northwestish in the summer, but rise in the southeast-ish and set in the southwestish in the winter. A shadow left by the sun moves during the course of the day, and this allows us to use it to find direction. The three main methods for finding direction using the sun and a stick are called the 15-minute method, the short shadow method, and cutting the circle. In the northern hemisphere, at noon, the sun will be in the south. In the southern hemisphere, at noon, the sun will be at the north. But remember, you should be using sun time. In Britain, that's Greenwich Mean Time. This will not work if you're using daylight saving time or summer time, when the clock time is different from the sun time. This needs to be borne in mind when you're using a watch to find direction using the sun. To use the 15 minutes method, you need some flat ground and a long as possible stick. You place the stick in the ground, you mark the tip of the shadow with some sort of marker, such as a stone or a tent peg. You then wait 15 minutes and mark the tip of the second shadow. Good soldiers always start marching with the left foot. You put the left foot on the first shadow and your right foot on the second shadow, and you're facing north-ish. The short shadow method is used round about noon. Again, you put a stick in the ground and you mark the shadow. Where the shadow is shortest, that is the direction pointing away from the equator, i.e. north in the northern hemisphere and south in the southern hemisphere. For more accuracy, and if you have a long time, you can use what I call cutting the circle method. You place your stick in the ground as with the other two methods and mark the first shadow. Then you transcribe the arc of a circle, the length of the shadow, then you wait till the shadow touches the arc once again. You join those two places and you have a west-east line. So again, looking away from the equator, you will find north in the northern hemisphere and south in the southern hemisphere. Finding direction using an analog watch is easy. However, you must remember if you're on local sun time or you're on daylight saving or summertime. To find direction using your analog watch and the sun is fairly easy. Start by pointing the hour hand at the sun, then find 12 o'clock. Bisect the angle between the hour hand and 12 o'clock. This will give you south in the Northern Hemisphere. You can now turn round and find north. However, in British summertime, it's slightly different. In summertime, point the hour hand at the sun, find 1 o'clock or 1300, then bisect the angle and you get south. In the Northern Hemisphere, turn round and again you'll find north. In the Southern Hemisphere, it's exactly the same method. Point the hour hand at the sun and bisect the angle between 12 if you're using local sun time or 1 if you're using daylight saving time. Then bisect the angle. However, this will give you north. Perhaps the biggest natural navigation lie is that moss grows on the north sides of trees. Moss tends to grow on the north side of trees in the Northern Hemisphere and on the southern side in the south. But moss grows on the most shaded, dampest part of trees. So local conditions will mean that moss can grow anywhere, even all round the trees. So get out there, get navigating. You know it makes sense. It'll serve you well.